Okay, the rapture. Will the rapture happen on September 23rd of this year, 2025? Is it going to happen on the Feast of Trumpets? There's been buzz all around the internet that the rapture is going to happen on the Feast of Trumpets, Rosh Hashanah of this year. And there are those who are preparing for the end. And I was asked to speak on what I thought. I made a quick video it was kind of impromptu, to give a quick response. Now I decided we need to go deeper. And I'm going to go deeper in this video. What is behind it? And will the rapture happen on September 23rd? What's it all based on? And how should we react? Is there validity? I'm going to give you a hint. It has to do with the stars, this whole argument or theory. Now, the Daily Mail in the United Kingdom, major paper, did a story on this. Somehow the writer said that I was in favor of the rapture coming on September 23rd. Well, I am in favor of the rapture coming anytime, but either he didn't watch the whole video or it's an example of the media totally twisting reality. Imagine that. What I did is, after noting that there are biblical reasons for the idea that major end-time events will be connected to the Feast of Trumpets, I gave a strong caution. I said, be careful. Be very careful about date setting. We don't know the day or the hour. Be careful about thinking it's going to come this September, because those things bring disrepute to the Lord. Again, I said be careful, like again and again. Don't go beyond what God says. Don't get dogmatic about these things like it's the Bible. And you don't want to put your faith in a date, and then if it doesn't happen, it's going to affect your faith or the faith of other people. Strong caution, strongly against putting your faith in these things. At the same time, I made that video quick, and I didn't see what this was really about, the reasons they have to come up with it. I didn't know it at the time. So now we're going to go deeper. And what is this all about? What does this have to do with an African pastor? What does it have to do with the stars? What does it have to do with the constellations, Virgo, Leo, the moon, the stars? And does it have validity? Okay, quick, before I do this, to ensure you don't miss the prophetic messages, hit subscribe, number one. Number two, remember the Avatar is out now. The Return of the Ancients, Future of America, most explosive book I've written. It's everywhere. Go online, Amazon, everywhere else. And lastly, the Book of Revelation Super Tour and the Journeys of Paul, and also the Israel Holy Land Super Tour, both in 2026. To find out more, go to Jonathan Cahn Super Tours, jonathancahn.supertours.com. Okay, for those who don't know, the rapture speaks of what it says in the New Testament, it's biblical, concerning the end of the age. It says, we will be caught up together to meet the Lord. It also says two will be standing in a field, one will be taken, rapture. So it's gone viral that the rapture is going to take place this September on the Feast of Trumpets, Hebrew Holy Day. So what is it all based on? Well, first, it's based on an African pastor. This is one of the sources, who said Jesus told him in a vision that the rapture is coming, or he will come on September 23rd, 2025. Okay, that's what he said. Second, it's based on a teaching or argument that has to do with a constellation and Revelation 12. Now, Revelation 12 speaks of a dragon waging war against a woman who is clothed with the sun and the moon is at her feet, 12 stars around her head. The dragon is Satan. The woman represents Israel, gives birth to a child. The child is Messiah. Now listen, I'm not talking against anybody. I'm assuming everybody's sincere believers in their belief, and I'm not getting into that. But I am going to get into the facts concerning what this is all based on. First, with the African pastor. All right, he said he saw a vision. Did he? I don't know. But let's say he did. Anybody can say anything, and a vision can have anything in it. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. Could mean something, doesn't have to mean anything. What about this thing, Revelation 12 and the constellation? What's that about? Revelation 12 says this: a great sign appeared in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun, the moon under her feet, on her head a crown of 12 stars. She was pregnant, and she cried out in labor, in pain, to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And on his head were 7 crowns. His tail swept away a third of the stars of heaven and hurled them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she gave birth, he might devour her child. Okay, now if you read the last book I wrote, The Dragon's Prophecy, you know what this is about. This is the enemy and his war against the woman, Israel, who gives birth to the Messiah. Listen, Israel gave birth to the Messiah, the dragon, the enemy, waging war against them from ancient times to this very day. So what does this teaching say about the rapture and September 23rd? This teaching says there was an arrangement of stars, a convergence, constellations, where the constellation Virgo was next to the constellation Leo. Why is that significant according to the argument? Well, the teaching says Virgo, or virgin, represents the woman in Revelation that gives birth to the child. What about Leo? Leo is a lion, obviously, but in Leo there are a number of prominent stars, and since they are somewhat near Virgo's head, it matches Revelation, which says the woman was crowned with 12 stars. Further, the argument says that the sun and moon were in the constellation as well, and Jupiter, which is a kingly planet, emerged from the inside of Virgo like a child. Now, this all happened in 2017. So those arguing this said it was going to be, some said it was going to be the end of the world, end of the age, or the rapture. Well, it wasn't. It happened on September 23rd. But now in 2025, the Feast of Trumpets is falling on September 23rd, 8 years later. So same date. But what does that mean? Does that mean anything? They say 8 is a number of new beginnings, okay? So now the rapture, they say, is gonna take place on the 8th anniversary of the constellation of the Feast of Trumpets, which didn't happen last time. Nothing happened. What do I think of this? First problem. Where does the Bible say that God is going to give signs of end-time events, his coming, based on constellations? Okay, number two. How would a sign, to the world that would pretty much be a sign to the world that God's giving that pretty much only astronomers are going to even be aware of, or astrologers see it? Number three, you have a constellation of Virgo near Leo. Is that Revelation 12? Really? What does Leo have to do with Revelation 12? Is there any Leo in Revelation 12? I mean, there are 2 Jewish witnesses in Revelation, but it doesn't say that one of them is named Leo Schwartz or Leo Rosenberg. Any lion? No. Okay, link to the Virgin. Number 4, why would God use a picture in a vision of a woman giving birth that represents the Messiah being born 2,000 years ago as a sign now of the rapture? Number 5, the 12 stars. Leo doesn't have 12 prominent stars, it has 9 prominent stars. So they said, well, then you add the 3 planets who were around there, and if you went by all of them, there'd be way beyond 12 with a telescope. So that doesn't really go. It's been sounding really forced, but the whole thing is based on the convergence of Virgo and Leo. And the woman has to borrow stars from another constellation in order to have 12 stars or planets or whatever. Number 6, Virgo is a pagan entity. Virgo is a goddess. So is God gonna honor the constellations of the pagan world with a pagan goddess as his sign that he's giving of his coming? A goddess. Now, some will say, well, he mentions Orion and Job, but he's mentioning what they viewed, that he's using that language. But him giving a sign of a pagan goddess? And the stars? Well, let's go to the stars. Number 7, astrology. It's one thing for God to make references to what people believed and how they saw it. But would God use astrology for the sign of his coming? Astrology is condemned in the Bible. In Isaiah 47, it reads, all the advice you receive has made you tired. Where are all your astrologers, those stargazers who make predictions each month? Let them stand up and save you from what the future holds, but they're like straw burning in a fire. They cannot save themselves from the flame. Now, again, astrology is condemned in the Bible. So are there signs? Well, there's a moon, there's a star, and there will be stars falling in it, but you gotta be careful. This is derived from the pagan world. I don't see much really to begin with here. And again, God bless the people, but even Virgo, pagan Virgo, to speak of virgin. Well, Revelation 12 actually doesn't even mention the name virgin. It's speaking of Israel, which includes the Virgin Mary, but doesn't even say this. The whole point is that the sign is called Virgo or virgin, and yet Revelation doesn't even do it. And what does Revelation have to do with the rapture? What I mean is Revelation 12, the sign, the part where the woman's giving birth. So I don't really see much at all that means anything. What I see is a problem, an alignment that doesn't really seem to mean much, and a pagan goddess as a sign of God, to lead you to have you look at this one as a pagan goddess, and astrology condemned in the Bible. And just because trumpets this year falls on the date that constellation fell 8 years ago when nothing happened, where is the significance? It's been said by those supporting this argument that this alignment almost never occurs. Well, astronomers have said that it has occurred several times in the last 1,000 years and nothing happened that we know of. So what are we left with? Not really much at all. And to build an idea that the rapture is coming on September 23rd and preparing this whole big thing. And here's the other problem. The Bible says that in the tribulation period, you're going to have the abomination desolation, the desecrating of God's temple by the Antichrist. It's generally agreed that it comes in the middle of the tribulation period. So if you're going by the pre-tribulation rapture, the rapture happens before the 7 years of the tribulation, well, that's where you have the most time for something to happen. That only gives you 3.5 years to build the temple. It's always prophetic things in Israel, but that's not being begun, and that's a gigantic thing. And the other thing is, in this 7-year tribulation period, you have to have a one world government state before the Antichrist comes. Now that's gigantic. You got to have that before the 3.5 year period. That doesn't just happen. Rome wasn't built in a day. So really, though I'm sure, again, these people are sincere, I don't see anything really of significance lining up here with the argument that the rapture is going to happen on September 23rd. I don't see really anything of substance. What does the Lord himself say? Matthew 24:36 says this, "But concerning that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, not the Son, but the Father only." No one knows. Conclusion. Do not put your hope in such things. I'm here with the thing I told you last time. Don't go crazy that the rapture has to happen at this time. I'm sure it won't happen, in September 23rd. I'm pretty really sure. And when it doesn't, all this focus will, again, only bring disrepute to the gospel, confusion to believers, skepticism to unbelievers, and even the falling away of people who have put their faith in it. Go forward with your life. Get on with spreading the gospel. That's what he commanded. He didn't command us to know the day and the hour. He said he doesn't even know it at that time. And the implication is we're not going to know that. And we'll know the season, his coming. But he says, but go and preach the gospel. The disciple said, is that this time you're restoring the kingdom to Israel? He said, not for you to know when, but go and preach the gospel to all nations. Make disciples of all. Be ready. We got to live our life to be ready if Jesus comes tomorrow or today, that you're ready to meet the Lord, and be ready if he doesn't come for sometimes to get on with his work of the Great Commission. Remember, when your heart stops beating, when's going to come, the day of the Lord? When your heart stops beating, that's the day of his coming for your life. If he doesn't come before that in your lifetime, that's going to be the day. That's when you're going to meet him. So look at your heart. See, it's take the heart like he's knocking there, because the only thing that separates you from eternity is one heartbeat. So live your life in light of that day. That can come at any hour. And if you're not born again and you say, don't wait, one heartbeat stops eternity. Don't wait. Do whatever you have to do to make sure you are born again, you're saved, you're right with God. You can begin with a simple prayer to receive Jesus, Yeshua, Messiah, into your heart and your life. And to begin living your life as his disciple, that's what it's about, with his presence. Okay? And if you get in touch with hopeoftheworld.org, that's the ministry I lead, they'll answer questions or send you info on it, whatever we can help you with, hopeoftheworld.org. All right, if you haven't already, quickly hit subscribe and go online now, and you should be able to find the avatar. It's out, explosive. And for the Book of Revelation and Journeys of Paul tour, Super Tour, or the Israel Holy Land Super Tour, both in 2026, I'm going to be leading it. Just go to Jonathan Cahn Super Tour or jonathancahnsupertour.com. All right. Listen, the Bible says don't get all bent out of shape. I'm paraphrasing. It's saying the Lord's coming. Lord, they said, don't listen. It's not going to come until certain things happen. And you'll know until the man of lawlessness is revealed. Okay. And also other things. There'll be a great falling away and many other things. So be grounded, be open, Be ready. Great. We have our great hope, but also be grounded. Until next time, this is Jonathan Cahn saying, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Shalom.
Is there more to the world that meets our eyes? Could the most powerful figures of our age be fulfilling the roles of an ancient blueprint? Is it possible that behind the events of our time is an ancient mystery transforming our lives? Could the realm of ancient mythology be colliding into our present reality? Are there actually avatars in the world today, even in the realm of government? Leaders impacting nations, even America, and holding an ancient secret. Have they even altered elections? #1 New York Times bestselling author Jonathan Cahn, author of 10 bestsellers, including The Harbinger, The Return of the Gods, and The Dragon's Prophecy, now releases what may be his most explosive book yet, The Avatar, The Return of the Ancients, and the Future of America. The Avatar contains revelations so shocking that they cannot be revealed outside of its pages. Who are the Avatars, and what do they have to do with what is now happening in America, the world, and the future? The Avatar reveals what the media will never tell you, an ancient mystery at work, secretly moving behind world events, behind the transformation of America and the West, behind world leaders, and behind the changes that are touching each of our lives. In the Avatar, you will be taken on a journey to the ancient land where the gods never left, to a haunted island and the goddess on the mountain, and to the streets of Washington, D.C. to uncover the mystery of the Avatar, now appearing at the seat of government. Is there an ancient mystery of kings and queens that reveal the meaning of Donald Trump and every recent American leader? Why they rose, why they fell, or why they rose again? What is the mystery behind the day Trump was born, and the mystery behind the day his life was almost taken? Is there an ancient object buried in the sand of the Middle East that foreshadows what is now taking place in America and that holds the key to our future? Jonathan Cahn's most explosive book ever will reveal the story of the Avatar, the one who became a prominent leader on the American political stage, one who has lived in the image of an ancient god from birth, the American Avatar, an instrument of the gods and their agenda. Read and discover the Olympian mystery, the trickster god, the return of the king, the gods of the lake, the cosmic queen, the god of madness, the black obelisk, and the mystery of the Avatar. How dangerous are the times we are in? How much time do we have left? Is there hope? And what do we do? Discover the revelation too deep, too radical to be revealed. Until now, the Avatar will not only blow your mind, but change the way you see the world. The Avatar by Jonathan Cahn, The Return of the Ancients, and the Future of America. It's not fiction, it's real. Prepare to be blown away. The book you can't afford not to read. From Frontline, available where books are sold.
Hey everybody, this is Jonathan Cahn, and thanks for watching the video. And listen, the new book, The Avatar, is out. It's the most explosive book I've written. It's The Avatar, The Return of the Ancients, and the Future of America. It's everywhere. If you go online, you'll see it everywhere to get it for yourself and people in your life who need to see it.